Hi, this is Neeraj, and it's my friend Mish, and together we've got a band called amAya, which many of you may have already heard of. And we've decided just to put together a series of videos which we're going to try and do regularly, which is just going to share some of the stuff that we found on the internet and other places that we think has given us some great value and some inspiration to produce our music and to improve our life. So the first video we're going to talk about that we found was actually from a talk by somebody called Ken Robinson, who's actually Sir Ken Robinson. He was actually knighted for his contribution to the educational system in the UK, and he has this really powerful talk and a real strong message about the fact that the educational system that we have in the world tends to kind of educate us out of creativity and not into creativity. And he believes that we're all born with a natural creative talent, but what happens is, because of this kind of narrow thinking that we have in this educational system, that we have to get jobs and and security and all this stuff, and we end up doing degrees that lead us into jobs, secure jobs, we kind of forget our passions and our true passions. And really it's from our passion that we can identify our talents and then go on to really do stuff that we really enjoy. So for me, my own personal story, I was a pharmacist, and I ended up doing a pharmacy degree, even though I had this amazing passion for music, because of social pressure and family pressure and things like that, that you need to do something that's safe and secure. And I ended up doing pharmacy, which I really didn't enjoy, and I ended up being somebody who was more like working in a factory. That's what it felt like. And even though I do enjoy working in healthcare, I felt I couldn't really do that in the way the pharmaceutical industry is set up. So I actually managed to luckily find a way out of that. I got information at the right time and a good mentor who actually showed me how to cultivate a therapy based on my passion for music, and that's how we ended up creating alchemy sound therapy, and then Trip Nora after that. And Mish, who's actually a doctor as well, has a similar story to me. We actually both met at university, and we both had a struggle trying to get our music heard and appreciated in the right way, and we both struggled. We tried getting deals with record labels and things like that, and in the beginning we kind of were conforming to the commercial music scene, when really our true heart was to make music, create music that actually really helped people experience relaxation and inspired things within them. So that's how we ended up forming the band amAya, and this new sound that we have, which is being used in therapy as well. So we've kind of combined our passion for health and music together in one, and created this new style of music. So I just want to introduce Mish, because you may have heard of me speaking a lot in the past, but I want to bring Mish into the equation, because he is the other 50% of the band. It would not happen without Mish being involved. So
I'm really happy that Neeraj and I decided to do these videos, because I think what Neeraj and I were feeling is that we were sort of being inspired by so many things that we would read or see on the internet, and we would talk about it, and we just felt that we just wish that if we'd had this information 5 years ago, 6 years ago, how our lives would have panned out differently. And so we just felt, well, what the heck, let's just start doing some videos and just share this knowledge to people, because there may be things that you hadn't heard about, which you might pick up on some of these videos, or there might be things which which we don't know, which we would love to hear from you about. So that's the reason why we wanted to do these videos, and I'm really glad that Nij sort of spoke about Sir Ken Robinson, because I'd never heard of him either, and Nij had found him on the TED Talks websites, which I'm sure some of you know, which are absolutely fantastic sort of lectures. And so sort of Nij showed me showed me some Sir Ken Robinson videos, and I was completely addicted to anything that he said, anything that he spoke about, because he was so well spoken and could really talk about things which we'd all felt, I'm sure, growing up in school and the education system that we've been exposed to. But he was able to articulate the real difficulties that we all faced, and I, like as Neeraj had said, had struggled trying to cultivate a passion for the thing that I was doing, because I was sort of steered away from doing art and music and not forced to do sciences, but sort of I had to think of a really good reason why I shouldn't be doing sciences, but what happened, and I think this might be similar to maybe some of your experiences, is that the fact that people are, just because, I mean, I was good at science, but I didn't necessarily enjoy science, but I carried on sticking with science because I felt it would get me a job and go to medical school, blah, 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 blah. But I think something that Sir Ken Robinson talks about is just because you're good at something doesn't mean that that's the thing that you have to do. You have to enjoy it, and you have to find fulfillment from it, because I would, I mean, Neeraj can vouch for this. I mean, I'd gone through some very difficult obstacles in building up my medical career. Lots of exams, lots of things, and I would get the certificates, but honestly, part of me would feel empty inside. But the moment we do a track, it's a different. I felt completely alive, and I'm not saying that I haven't had experiences like that in medicine, because I have, but not as consistently, and I'd be lying to myself if I was trying to convince myself that I was. So I don't know if that's something that you might relate to in your life, where you're good at something, but you may not be, the only reason you're doing it is because you're good at it, and that may not be a good enough reason to want to do those things, and it might be now important to rekindle those dreams that you maybe had, which were educated out of you, as Neeraj said, which don't ever die. They remain dormant, but they don't die, and it's a matter of just trying to rekindle those things. And I'm sure you'll find anything Sir Ken Robinson talks about will really start to start you on that journey.
So I think we should let the peeps out there actually see the talk by Ken Robinson.
Yeah.
We've basically taken some clips from his long talk, which is actually on TED Talks YouTube channel, so you can actually go and have a look for it if you want. Absolutely. But we've just actually dissected 2 clips which we feel give you some great value straight away. And if you have any kind of comments, feedback, questions, you want any kind of advice or tips on how you can turn your passion into something that's more sustainable, and perhaps if you're in a job that you can't stand and you're looking for some help and advice to try and find some extra ways to make money based on things you actually enjoy, then just leave some comments below. We'll do our best to point you in the right direction, because it's when we found the right information at the right time that really helped us actually form this music therapy and build a website and market ourselves, and now we're helping so many people around the world with our passion, sharing our passion.
Absolutely.
So we wake up every day with letters, emails from people who've had amazing experiences through our music. So to be able to do that, we're really grateful.
Yeah, absolutely. But the key thing is that if you'd met us 2 years ago, Nidge was ill. I was really trying to struggle, doing lots of things and doing things for the wrong reasons. And the only things that we lacked were not our goals, were not our desires, not the reasons why we wanted to do things, but not having the strategy to do things. And the strategy was the key, the thing that allowed us to really express ourselves and do it successfully. And what I think we really want to do with these videos is really try and share strategies. We'd like you to share your strategies with us, and it'd be a pleasure for us to share whatever strategies we have with you, so that we can all get to where we want to get to, which is a happy and fulfilling life.
That's right. So we're going to share stuff like health tips, diet tips, things like exercise routines that you can do at home. We're going to share ways you can actually market yourself online if you have a passion and you want to get out and reach lots of people. So there's just stuff like that. We're going to share our music as well.
Absolutely. So if there's anything that you, as Nish said, if there's anything that you feel that you'd like us to talk about, then let us know.
Yeah, just stick some comments below this video.
Yeah.
So
we'll leave this video with Ken Robinson. So
yeah.
Enjoy.
See you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
What these things have in common, you see, is that kids will take a chance. You know, if they don't know, they'll have a go. Am I right? They're not frightened of being wrong. Now, I don't mean to say that being wrong is the same thing as being creative. What we do know is, if you're not prepared to be wrong, you'll never come up with anything original. If you're not prepared to be wrong. And by the time they get to be adults, most kids have lost that capacity. They have become frightened of being wrong. And we run our companies this, by the way. We stigmatize mistakes. And we're now running national education systems where mistakes are the worst thing you can make. And the result is that we are educating people out of their creative capacities. Picasso once said this. He said that all children are born artists. The problem is to remain an artist as we grow up. I believe this passionately, that we don't grow into creativity, we grow out of it. Or rather, we get educated out of it. Our education system is predicated on the idea of academic ability. And there's a reason. The whole system was invented around the world. There were no public systems of education really before the 19th century. They all came into being to meet the needs of industrialism. So the hierarchy is rooted on two ideas. Number one, that the most useful subjects for work are at the top. So you were probably steered benignly away from things at school when you were a kid, things you liked, on the grounds you would never get a job doing that. Is that right? Don't do music, you're not going to be a musician. Don't do art, you won't be an artist. Benign advice. Now, profoundly mistaken. The whole world is engulfed in a revolution. And the second is academic ability, which has really come to dominate our view of intelligence because the universities designed the system in their image. If you think of it, the whole system of public education around the world is a protracted process of university entrance. And the consequence is that many highly talented, brilliant, creative people think they're not, because the thing they were good at school wasn't valued or was actually stigmatized. And I think we can't afford to go on that way. In the next 30 years, according to UNESCO, more people worldwide will be graduating through education than since the beginning of history. More people. And it's the combination of all the things we've talked about, technology and its transformational effect on work, and demography and the huge explosion in population. Suddenly, degrees aren't worth anything. Isn't that true? When I was a student, if you had a degree, you had a job. If you didn't have a job, it's because you didn't want one. And I didn't want one, frankly. So, but now, kids with degrees are often heading home to carry on playing video games. Because you need an MA, where the previous job required a BA, and now